Hi you guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Patience. To my existing subscribers, welcome back. If this is your first time here, be sure to click that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can continue to indulge in the Haute Bella experience. In today's video, you guys, you are going to be getting ready with me, and I'm going to be using my Natasha Denona My Dream palette for the first time. I know that this has been out for quite some time, but this is my first time using it, and this is a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. I used it to create this gorgeous eye look today. Also in this Get Ready With Me video today, I am revisiting my Wide Awake concealer from Dominique Cosmetics. This is in the shade Caramel. I'm using this concealer for my complexion, and I'm also using the Lancome Dual Finish Powder Foundation. It is absolutely gorgeous. Love that. I'm using a blush from Pat McGrath Labs. I'm using two bronzers. I'm using one from Danessa Myricks and also another from Charlotte Tilbury. So yeah, we're just getting ready and trying out some of the products like this Natasha Denona My Dream palette that I had not tried out before, and also just revisiting some of the products that I have tried before, and I want to give them a little bit more attention. So if you'd like to see how I created this gorgeous look today, then keep watching. In the crease, I'm going to use this shade right here. This shade is called Aspiration. This is a deep shade. This is like a deep brownish burgundy type of shade almost. It only takes just a little bit of it because the pigmentation is definitely there. That is really, really pretty. I have used a little bit more of my P. Louise eyeshadow base, and I've carved out a portion of my lid. I'm just going to soften up the edges as I normally do. I'm going to use a little bit more of this shade. This shade is called Aspiration, and I'm just going to soften up the edges just a little bit. I'm now going to use this shade right here. This shade is called Serenity, and I am going to place this on the areas that I still have open here. Just bumping it right up against that darker shade. That darker shade is Aspiration. I'm using my MAC 242 to put this shade down. I'm leaving a little bit of open space right in the inner corner because there's another shade in this palette I want to place there. But for right now, Serenity is going to be placed right here next to the darker shade, which is Aspiration. I'm using the shade Dry. I'm going to use my same brush. Use a paper towel here just to clean it off a little bit. And then I'm going back into Aspiration once again. That is this darker shade right here. And I'm going to do a little bit of blending, just a little bit, because I want these two shades to look like they're married together. I don't want them to look separated. I want them to look like they just bleed into each other. Just like so. I'm going to use the same brush. I'm going to use my paper towel again just to get that shade out of the brush or off of the brush, and I am going to go back into the palette again, and I'm going to use this shade right here. This shade is called Babies, and I'm going to use this towards the inner corner, connecting it to the Serenity that I already have placed there on the center of my lid. Just connecting the two, adding a little bit more shimmer right there in the inner corner. Super pretty. I'm going back to this shade right here. This shade is called Carpe Diem. This is the shade I used as my transition shade. And I am going to add a little bit more of this in the area where I've had to manipulate my natural crease line. You guys know how I do this. Super pretty. I'm going to add my liner and my lashes, and I'll be right back. I'm done with my liner and my lashes. I decided to go with a champagne color in my waterline. I'm using a black gel eyeliner from Inglot. It's in the number 77. That's the black that I'm wearing. And the champagne color is also from Inglot. It's in the shade 94. So I'm now ready to apply my concealer. I've also done some color correcting in my under eye area and also around my mouth and some other little areas that I wanted to kind of cover up today. I'm using a powder foundation from Lancome. And for my concealer today, I'm using the Wide Awake concealer from Dominique Cosmetics. It's in the shade Caramel. You guys have seen me use this concealer before. This concealer has a really unique applicator. It has like a metal tip on it and it's cool to the touch, so it feels really cooling in my under eye area. I'm using this in all the areas that you would normally want to add a little bit of highlight. That's under the eyes, down the bridge of the nose, wherever you would like to add your concealer. And if I remember correctly, this may dry down a little fast, so I think I better move a little faster. This is a super full coverage concealer, but it has a beautiful finish. I'm going to use a damp sponge and just make sure that everything is nice and blended here. This is a super pretty concealer. I'm going to do a little contouring / bronzing, and I'm going to use the Power Bronzer from Danessa Myricks. Going back in with my sponge just to make sure everything is still really nice and blended. I'm going to set my under eyes, and I'm going to use this out of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Powder Kit. This is a really oldie but goodie, but I love setting my under eyes using this shade of powder. This is in the shade Peaches and Cream. I like using the sponge to push the powder in when I'm setting my under eye area, but I'm finding that I also like to follow up with a brush and just kind of gently sweep it in there. I like how that looks. Just helps to soften it up just a little bit more. I'm putting this powder everywhere that I have added concealer. Very pretty. I'm using the Lancome Dual Finish Powder Foundation, and I'm in the shade 420. This is what this powder looks like. And I'm just going to press this in. I normally use a brush, but I want to try this powder puff and see how that works. And I'm just pushing it into my skin. I don't know, I may have to switch back over to a brush, but I want to try this. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious to see how this works with a powder puff, because it comes with a powder puff that I've never used, but I always use a brush. And I think I do want to use a brush. I want to return to a brush just for a moment because that's kind of what I'm used to. And I'm just going to use the brush just to hit some of the areas that I need just a little bit more coverage. But this is really, really a pretty powder. Very pretty. Yes, very pretty. I'm going to spritz down with a little bit of my Caudalie Beauty Elixir. Take some of the powdery look away. I'd like a little bit more warmth, so I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. This is the powder version of the bronzer, so I'm just adding just a little bit more warmth in. I use my Danessa Myricks underneath, and that's good just to give me a good shape of the face, but I like to go back in on top of that just to kind of warm it up just a little bit more. So it's almost like anywhere that I've added the cream contour underneath, I'm going back over it and setting it with this bronzing powder, which makes it really nice in my opinion. And for blush, I'm going to use this blush from Pat McGrath Labs. It's in the shade Desert Orchid. This is what it looks like. I'm going to add just a little bit. Such a pretty blush. Very pretty. And for my highlighter, just to tie all this together, I'm going to go back into this MAC blush slash highlighter. It's called Beaming, and I am going to place a little bit of this right in here just to pull it all together. That's really, really pretty. It is now time to smoke out my waterline. I am going back into the My Dream palette, and I want to use this shade right here. It's called Edgy. It looks so pretty, and I would love to incorporate that into this look. So I'm going to use this in my waterline. That is so pretty to me. So, so pretty. That's really pretty. And for the inner corner, I'm going to go back to Babies. That's the shade right here. And I'm just going to drag it a little bit further down into this inner corner. Make that look a little bit more deliberate in there. Not too bright, but still adding just a little bit of brightness in this area. And I think for lips, to finish this look off, I'm just going to go really simple. I'm going to use this lip gloss from Fenty Beauty. This is in the shade Hot Chocolate, and I am just going to use this to finish off this look. I didn't line my lips. I'm just keeping it really simple, even though with this look you could definitely add a bold look and it would be no problems. It would very easily take it to the next level. But I'm liking this. And this look is done. You guys, the Natasha Denona My Dream palette is a gorgeous palette, but this is on par with all of the palettes that are coming from Natasha Denona. She seems to knock it out of the park almost every time. I'm a little bit late to the party in regards to trying this palette out, but there's so many different palettes that are on the market right now. I kind of have to take my time working my way through them and determine which ones are going to fit best in my collection. This Natasha Denona My Dream palette definitely has its place in my collection. I enjoyed playing with this palette today, so this is not the last time that you're going to see this palette. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye bye.